Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and let's dive into this. Yesterday was pathetic. I'm not going to lie. Yesterday, we had two drafts. Both were obnoxiously bad, and I am here to redeem myself. I am here to show that once in a blue moon, I can luck myself into drafting a good fantasy football team. So let's go ahead and let's pull this up. Of course, this is the puppy draft on Underdog. If you have no idea what we're doing, you've been lost, my friend. This is a $5 buy-in, $500,000 prize pool, $75,000 for first place. We actually had a member of the flock win this tournament on Underdog Fantasy last season, which of course is awesome. Maybe we have Nick out here right now. I don't know, but nonetheless, we are going to be getting pick 8. Pick 8 does put us in a pretty good spot if we're looking at what we usually have in the public lobby. However, I'm assuming we have a decent amount of members of the flock in this draft, which is always much more difficult to draft next to y'all. I mean, right now, if we're going to pull this up, I know Hayes ID is in the flock. I know Hoop State's in the flock. I know Prod is in the flock. So definitely 7, 10, 11. We have some real competition here. Austin says, yeah, he's in here at 10. Happy to see that. Prod says, second draft with Mason today. My man, my drafts earlier today depend on the one that you were in. Pretty good. I think we've done 5 drafts today. Boss Mattis says he's in here at the 103 as well. Let's go. Scott's in here at 6. I think says hit the like button. Yes, if you have not hit that like button yet, fix your life. Go down there and hit that like. It's completely free. And oh my gosh, it looks like so many of y'all already have. I mean, we only have 150 people out here, but we almost have 80 likes on this live stream. So thank you so much, everybody going down there and hitting that button. Okay. Now we have Jefferson Chase off the board, 1 and 2. Not too much to discuss here. It really is just going to come down to what are we seeing at picks 5, 6, and 7. That's like where we need to start sweating because, I mean, obviously we know we're not going to be able to get Jamar Chase. We know we're not going to be able to get Justin Jefferson. What is funny, and I do want to ask y'all if y'all been seeing this in your drafts as well lately on Underdog, have y'all seen some crazy people going through and taking Jamar Chase over Justin Jefferson? I'm not going to lie to you. I've seen that in a few drafts now. I don't really understand why people are doing it, but it's not like only one draft I've seen it in. There have been multiple drafts where I've been at 2 and I've actually had Justin Jefferson fall to us. Ryan says he's in there at 1. Happy to see you, my man. Now, we have Diggs, Kelsey off the board, so we are going to go ahead. We are going to get a wide receiver. Y'all know I love Bijan Robinson more than anybody else here. We literally got to interview the man. I literally went to University of Texas. I was still there his first season playing. That was the year I graduated. So, I mean, I am the biggest Bijan Robinson fanboy in the entire world. And if I'm playing in a regular draft that's not Underdog, that's not best ball, honestly, yeah, I probably go through and I take Bijan Robinson here. But personally, knowing how hard it's going to be to find wide receiver value later on, I'm going to go ahead. I'll take A.J. Brown instead and see what running backs we can get in the later rounds. But yeah, it's going to be a little tough. Camp says he has seen multiple drafts where Jefferson falls to 2. I actually had a draft earlier, and I swear to God, where Jefferson fell to 3. And I mean, that just usually, it would never happen. Never. Okay. Now, Lamb, Devontae Adams go off the board at 10 and 11. So really happy with our A.J. Brown selection in that case. Like if we're looking at some of the options that are going to be on the way back around for us at 17, if we really want to grab a running back, I'll feel comfortable grabbing whoever's there. And we're 1 like away from hitting 100 likes on this live stream. Thank you so much. And of course, if you want to be our 100th like, you know how to do just that. But let's pull up what we are going to be looking at. Prod on the clock. So you're seeing Saquon Barkley consistently fall in these drafts. Like if you're looking at the ADP now, Saquon Barkley is actually behind Amon-Ra St. Brown, behind Jalen Waddle, which is something that we're really not used to seeing. Personally, I am taking Saquon Barkley just like Hoop State over the wide receivers here. I mean, I think that people are maybe overthinking it a bit with Saquon Barkley. I think it's a phenomenal selection at 15. But Prod took T. Higgins, did not even notice that. So going with a unique build, we're going to go ahead. We are going to take Jonathan Taylor here. This is the reason why we decided to go A.J. Brown in the first round. That way we can take advantage of the running back value that we're getting with JT in the second. But yeah, I'm completely fine with this. A YouTube user says, got to go JT. Yes, sir, 100%. And I actually did something for y'all, okay? Y'all know usually we say, if you want to get in a draft with us on Underdog Fantasy, link in the live chat, use promo code FLOCK for a 100% deposit match. Not only a 100% deposit match, but also get our rankings. And if you're a member of flockfantasy.com and Underdog Fantasy, you're going to get some exclusive Flock merch going your direction later this week. And you're going to get additional credit to your Underdog account. But usually we say Underdog's available in like 45 states, and we try to memorize off the top of our head where it's not available. Here's exactly where Underdog is available. So if you are in a state that is highlighted in black, I am sorry you cannot get in one of these drafts. If you are in another country outside of Canada, if you're in the United Kingdom, you're in Australia, I'm sorry you're not going to be able to get in these drafts. You can get in everywhere where this is yellow and gray. Yellow, gray, every state has Underdog. And in Canada, everywhere but Ontario does. So hopefully that clarifies some things here. I'm in Texas right now, and we've been drafting on Underdog for years. And if y'all don't know, this is best ball, so no time commitment at all during the season. That's how I drafted 700 teams here last year, won 150,000 here last year, and hopefully running it back. Probably not. I'm probably ready to lose money this season, but if we say enter like 10K of drafts, we have 15 years where we can lose money until we break even. Okay. Now, Jacobs, Pollard go off the board here at the beginning of the third. There's not necessarily a singular player I'm sitting here going, oh, please let him fall to us at pick 32. Pick 32, honestly, a lot of guys that I like are kind of down a little bit in ADP. So, I'm generally not out here trying to, really hope that Ramondre Stevenson falls to us right now. If he does, it is what it is. But I personally maybe even rather have Travis Etienne, and Travis Etienne does fall to us here. So I'll be happy to go through and take him at pick 32, even if it's a little bit ahead of ADP. I just think that Etienne's a superior pick to the other guys in this range. Okay. So let's move this down. Cameron coming out with a donation. Thank you, my man. Says 10-team Superflex start 10. We have Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence. Contending this year, would you move Love and Lance for Anthony Richardson in a 6-point passing touchdown format? I think the vast majority of people would say yes. I think the vast majority of people would say, well, you know what? Trey Lance isn't really giving you anything. Might as well go through and might as well get someone with an elite level ceiling in Anthony Richardson given his rushing upside. Personally, you are asking the biggest Trey Lance truther ever. I still believe Trey Lance has a lot of upside for this next season. And at the same time, hell, he's my most drafted player on Underdog right now. So I personally am just fine going through and holding on to Trey Lance. I think the majority of people, however, would tell you to take Anthony Richardson there. Blake, happy to see you, my man. Says, it's been a while since I've stopped by. Hope you're doing well, Mason. I'm doing great, my man. Honestly, I didn't expect to start doing these drafts every single day on the live stream. I knew I was going to be drafting these teams like in my own free time every single day at this time of the year, but I figured we were going to wait a bit before we started streaming these, just because y'all know we're going to stream hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Figured it made a little more sense to wait until we got closer to the season. But just based on how many of y'all want these live streams, there are more than enough people willing to watch. Hell, I'm happy to go through and stream them for you. So we're going to take Justin Fields here at pick 41. Y'all know I'm not a big Justin Fields guy. I think from a real life perspective, Justin Fields not as good as a lot of people believe that he is. I think that if you're looking at how Justin Fields impacts DJ Moore, I think DJ Moore has a cap ceiling based on the overall passing volume that you should expect this next season in Chicago. But at the same time, Justin Fields in his own right in fantasy football does have an insanely high ceiling based on that rushing upside. So based on the rushing upside you're getting from Justin Fields, it is a possibility that he is a top 5 pick in fantasy this next year. A top 5 quarterback in fantasy this next season with some massive, massive spike weeks. Okay, so DJ Moore does go at pick 44. Y'all know we just made that video essentially saying to avoid DJ Moore where he has an ADP where he's going higher than DeAndre Hopkins, higher than Christian Watson, higher than Drake London, higher than Mike Williams. And there are a lot of other wide receivers in rounds 4 and 5 that I'd actually prefer. But, I mean, here, I think that, I mean, DJ Moore, once you see him falling behind these other guys, I don't want to say is fine, but, I mean, it's better than where he usually goes, right? Okay, Herbert, Christian Kirk. So if we're looking at what we want on the way back around, of course, when we only have one wide receiver through the first 4 rounds, I mean, we are really hoping that we are able to find some wide receiver value. Now, of course, it's much easier said than done, right? As you're seeing Christian Kirk, Jerry Jeudy, Terry McLaurin, Michael Pittman all go off the board, where we may end up having to pivot to another position. But if I got exactly what we wanted, we would have had Jackson Smith and Jigba falling to us. But JSN actually goes off the board here at pick 54. So now we are no longer going to be able to go through and take JSN or Michael Pittman. So it's a little bit of a tougher spot in general, and we may have to pivot. So Hayes ID on the clock, goes Miles Sanders. We'll go ahead. We will take George Kittle here at pick 56. I mean, like I said, I would have preferred a wide receiver in general. But, I mean, what I like about taking George Kittle is this gives us the ability to where we may only have to take both 2 quarterbacks as well as 2 tight ends. So it gives us a lot of flexibility with what we can be doing with our roster later on in this draft. And if we were to go through and say, take a running back with this selection, we'd really just be boxing ourselves in and not giving us a ton of options on what we could be looking at. Okay. Margaret Word says, smash that like button, y'all. 350 for 2 drafts, and I don't wait until the last second to click it. Yes. Hit that like button. We will go ahead, and if we hit 350, we will fire up a second draft just in case you weren't able to get in this one. But of course, we're going to be live streaming and doing these drafts every single day until the season starts. We should have like 500 drafts streamed on this live stream when it's all said and done, before the season, of course. Now, J.K. Dobbins goes off the board here, pick 58. Trevor Lawrence goes off the board at pick 57. Then we have Godwin, Dameon Pierce. So Lawrence could have been someone we looked at if he would have made it back to us in the 6th round. I mean, we did have Travis Etienne. I've been trying to get a little unique with it and taking Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne on the same roster. I don't necessarily expect too many people to be doing that in general, but I mean, it's not something I want to reach on, right? I'm not excited to go through and take Travis Etienne in round 5. I'm sorry, take Trevor Lawrence in round 5. If I took Travis Etienne in round 3 or 4, I'm happy taking Trevor Lawrence in round 6. Okay. It is Rom out here on the clock, has Bijan Robinson at running back, quarterback Trevor Lawrence, wide receiver St. Brown, Calvin Ridley, and Amari Cooper. Goes Mike Evans. So we're going to go ahead. We are going to take Brandon Ayuk. I mean, with Brandon Ayuk, we're getting some correlation here with that San Francisco 49ers offense with the combo of Brandon Ayuk as well as George Kittle. Y'all know I like correlating our lineup in general. And with Brandon Ayuk, I mean, this is just a position that we really need, right? I mean, correlation aside, we really need some wide receivers here. And Ayuk does help us just have some more flexibility later on, where if we really like some running back value in round 7 and 8, we can go through and we can take it. Even if you look at my best ball rankings on flockfantasy.com, you will see that I have both Joe Mixon and Dalvin Cook ahead of Ayuk. Jason, yes, this is a puppy. Stroh says, like the stream. Dino Jerky says, is Underdog Fantasy available in Canada? Ryan answers, everywhere but Ontario. Yes. If you weren't here at the very beginning, Underdog is available and everywhere but black in the United States here. And it's available everywhere in Canada but Ontario. Okay. Austin says his team's weird. He keeps getting sniped. Let's go ahead and let's check out Austin's team. It says Hoop State at pick 10. Here, CeeDee Lamb round 1. Saquon Barkley round 2. Honestly, that's a start that I haven't in a lot of these drafts as well. Mark Andrews round 3. I mean, I like this team in general. I agree with you. I do definitely think it's weird. I mean, by going through and taking Kyle Pitts to pair up with Mark Andrews, I don't necessarily know how many teams are going to have the combo of Pitts and Andrews. Obviously, once you do this, you really can't take another tight end. But I mean, if you do have very few teams going through and taking this combination of players, I mean, at the end of the day, you could find yourself in a unique situation where you're maybe one of the only guys in terms of combinations when we get to the fantasy football playoffs. So it's honestly, I don't think that bad. It's definitely weird, But I mean, y'all know essentially what I'm trying to do in these massive large field underdog tournaments is I'm trying to get weird and have teams that other people won't have, but at the same time, not necessarily have bad teams, right? I want to be weird, but not bad. It's a lot easier said than done. The big way we do it is trying to just take players falling down ADP by a decent margin and trying to come up with some unique combinations. Okay, so far, quarterback, we have Justin Fields. Running back, we have Jonathan Taylor, Travis Etienne. Wide receiver, we have A.J. Brown, Brandon Ayuk. And tight end, we have George Kittle. So, I mean, we definitely have given ourselves the ability to stay flexible in the middle rounds here, which y'all know that's something we were talking about a ton on the live stream yesterday. And then I think a big mistake that I've been making in these drafts so far is just making it too hard on ourselves, where we go too heavy on a single position early on, and then all of a sudden have to have one position or two falling to us later in the draft. And when that happens, I mean, you're just sending up a prayer, essentially. Okay. Prod says, hey, Mason, do you think it's a smart idea to reach for Olave, Devonta Smith, Higgins when having a late first-round pick? I mean, yeah, this is something that we've talked about for years. I mean, there are a couple different ways you can go about this, but it goes right back to us saying that you want to have that unique team, but you don't want to make it bad, right? So if you're going to go through, if you're going to take someone that maybe will never go in a certain range, and then all of a sudden they're the guy who has a spike week with Saquon Barkley in week say 15, and you're the only person to advance with that combo to the fantasy football championship, then it can be very advantageous to you, but it's just more so about the other guys that are going to be on the board. So, I mean, a big a strong example of a team that would maybe make a weird play to try to get a little unique from the rest of the field and it not necessarily be too bad either is what I've seen from a couple teams overall is if you're at pick 1 and you're able to get Justin Jefferson, we know Justin Jefferson will essentially never go in the late first round, right? And at the same time, Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews almost always go in the late third. Maybe you're lucky and they fall to the late third and the beginning of the fourth, so you're able to get the Lamar and Andrews stack over here on this side of the draft board. If you were to go through and instead take Lamar Jackson as well as Mark Andrews at pick 24 and 25, in the entire tournament, you'll be one of the very few teams that actually has Justin Jefferson, Lamar Jackson, and Mark Andrews all in the same roster. Where if those are the three guys that, I mean, turn out to have explosive seasons and you're the only person who has that combo, then, I mean, you just get a ton of value from it. Louis says, I love the Rachaad White pick. I mean, yeah, with Rachaad White, it was more so me looking at the overall context of the board and trying to figure out where we wanted to try to set ourselves up. And to be honest, didn't really see this massive wide receiver run happening. I mean, if you were looking at what was available whenever we were on the clock there, taking Rachaad White was essentially like the last guy in that tier. And then you had a lot of wide receivers after. So it looks like we may not get the ability to take one of those wide receivers we were looking at. Very rarely is Anthony Richardson going to fall past his ADP. If we did decide to grab Anthony Richardson here, I mean, it would correlate somewhat with Jonathan Taylor. I mean, not a ton. But the issue is if we were to take Anthony Richardson with this selection, then essentially we're not going to be able to go through and grab another quarterback through the rest of the draft. So as we just try to practice and as we try to get better with these drafts overall, I'm instead going to take Javonte Williams. I mean, based on the Dalvin Cook reports, it looks like Alexander Mattison is less likely to make it back to us in the 9th round as he is in a lot of these other drafts, at least how he was falling. And y'all know Alexander Mattison, one of my most drafted running backs so far, but I doubt we get him at 104 with the Dalvin Cook selection now. Dalvin Cook trade rumors now. I think maybe if we go Javonte, it will put us in a position where we could still build around 3 quarterbacks if we really, really wanted to. But I think a lot of people that are a lot smarter than us would have said that Anthony Richardson is the selection there at pick 89. Christy says, people sleeping on Zay Flowers. I'm not a big Zay Flowers guy. Like, if you're looking at Zay Flowers, I mean, Zay Flowers is older than Kyle Pitts. Like, I'll take Zay Flowers in this range if we went through and drafted Lamar Jackson. If I had Lamar, I would go through and take Zay Flowers. Now, Snet coming out says, how do you feel about Michael Thomas this year? Do we know what his floor should be? Okay, so first off, the floor of Michael Thomas is 0 points this next season. I think we've seen that floor, consistently over the past 3 years. The last time Michael Thomas, however, played a game of football, not a game of football, a season of full football was back in 2019. And in 2019, when he played that full season of football, he was the wide receiver 1 overall in fantasy. So I think you do have a wide range of outcomes with Michael Thomas. I think you have an incredibly low floor with Michael Thomas. But I don't know, maybe the ceiling's there. I would definitely take Zay Flowers over Michael Thomas, right? I would definitely take James Cook, Zach Charbonnet, Alexander Madison, Anthony Richardson. I would take all those guys, before Thomas. So personally, I haven't been drafting a lot of them. When I have been taking Michael Thomas, I actually really like grabbing Alvin Kamara here at the 8-9 turn. And if we grab, say, Alvin Kamara at pick like 96, I'll take Michael Thomas at like pick 97. That way, maybe we can get some correlating assets in the New Orleans Saints passing offense. Yeah, but I think the expectations are with Michael Thomas. I don't want to say a long shot that you get anything, but you really can't just say it's like, oh, okay, Michael Thomas is a great value. We know exactly what he's going to be. We have no idea what Michael Thomas is going to do for us. Okay, so Alvin Kamara goes off the board here, pick 99. Dylan goes off at 100. So I'd say Brian Robinson's the last running back in that tier. Personally, because we only have 2 wide receivers, we're really not going to be looking to take Brian Robinson in the 9th. If Brian Robinson were to fall to us in the 10th, I would definitely feel like we needed to go ahead and grab him. But just with our team in particular, it'd be very difficult to grab him there. In terms of the quarterbacks about to go off the board, I can't really take Kirk Cousins. If you're looking at Cousins, Hawkinson's already gone. Addison's already gone. Justin Jefferson's already gone. I don't want to lock ourselves into having to take KJ Osborne. Just for the hell of it. Daniel Jones is a quarterback that we could take if we really wanted to. With Daniel Jones, you have a lot of stacking options later on in the draft, and he does have rushing upside. But now that Daniel Jones goes, what I'm probably going to do instead, Rashad Bateman goes, is I'm probably going to take Elijah Moore here, just the wide receiver that maybe can give us a wide receiver 2 season this next year if this Deshaun Watson passing offense is as good as we expect. Maybe if you would have had like Kirk Cousins going off the board at 103, we would have gone Daniel Jones 104 based on how the draft was going. But seeing Bateman off, I really want to just lock in Elijah Moore there. And then I personally am just avoiding Jameson Williams because I don't necessarily think that Jameson Williams is that strong of an option in general. Plus the suspension. If I wasn't a big fan of Jameson Williams as a prospect, wasn't a big fan of Jameson Williams at the beginning of this offseason, it's hard for me to go through and say, oh yeah, now we're getting a slight discount because he's going to miss 6 games. Let me go ahead and let me draft him in every single league. Like if I wasn't a big Jameson Williams guy beforehand, probably not going to be a big Jameson Williams guy now. Okay. Kodiak says, I don't like Hawkinson over George Kittle. Minnesota has too many weapons. Am I wrong for that? If you're looking at the weapons in Minnesota, you have Justin Jefferson. Not only do you have Justin Jefferson, but you have Jordan Addison. The weapons in San Francisco competing with George Kittle include Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, as well as Christian McCaffrey. With the Minnesota Vikings, we can assume that they actually have more passing volume than the San Francisco 49ers. We can assume the 49ers are actually going to look to run the ball a little bit more. So personally, my friend, I don't know if I can stand with you in that. I think that I would actually definitely have TJ Hawkinson over George Kittle. I think you're going to get more passing yards, not only more passing yards, but at the same time, I think that you are going to get less competition or maybe about the same. Okay. Now, Rashad Penny going off the board. Oh my gosh, I wanted David Njoku so bad, ladies and gentlemen. I really wanted him on this team. We could have had some correlation between Elijah Moore, David Njoku. We could have stopped at drafting 2 tight ends. What can we do here now? Is default Jacoby Myers, even if we don't love it? Damian Harris is probably my favorite player on the board, but yeah, we need a wide receiver so bad we're going to have to reach a little bit on Myers here. Oh, that is brutal. I really, really wanted to go through and take David Njoku. That would have fit our roster so nicely. I don't really like the value of wide receiver in this range. In the majority of drafts, I'm actually going with the tight end here, going with the running back here. I didn't want to take Kirk Cousins in that, like, what are we really accomplishing? I mean, I think that if we are going to see a massive spike week from Kirk Cousins, you're going to get one as well from one of his passing down options, and we have none of those guys on our team. Yeah, so I don't know. We're going to go ahead and we are just going to take Jacoby Myers there. Okay. Cousins, Damian Harris, Geno Smith go off the board. I mean, in my mind, probably the three best options. The issue with Geno Smith, right, is all his stacking options are already gone as well. I mean, you can't grab Lockett. You can't grab Metcalf. You can't grab JSN after you take Geno Smith. So, I mean, if these guys fall to us in extreme value, I'm fine going ahead and drafting them. It's just difficult to do there. Okay. Dominic says, I'm struggling between A.J. Dillon and Alexander Madison. I'm leaning Madison. Yeah, so Alexander Madison right now is one of my most drafted players in drafts, period. Like, Alexander Madison in the majority of these leagues is going at, I mean, in the 9th round. And if I'm looking at Alexander Madison, this is a running back that I would take there even if Dalvin Cook was for sure on the Minnesota Vikings. Because any week that Dalvin Cook misses, you can lock Alexander Madison in for 20 touches, or at least historically we've been able to. And the outside chance that Dalvin Cook is traded before June 1st. And then at that point, Alexander Madison skyrockets in these drafts. I need to go through. I need to take Alexander Madison as much as I can now. So, yeah, I've been drafting the hell out of Madison. Okay. Henrique says 350 likes and we get another draft. Yeah, if we hit 350 likes on the stream, we'll fire up another draft after this one, ladies and gentlemen. Kyler Murray goes 122. Okay, so we did give ourselves the flexibility by taking Jacoby Myers there over Damian Harris, that if we really wanted to, we could grab a running back with this next pick. So if we were looking at quarterback stacking options, Russ would somewhat just barely correlate with Javonte. Jared Goff does nothing for us. We can't really take any Detroit Lions after here either. Darnell Mooney would stack with Justin Fields, but I'm not a big Darnell Mooney guy. I think y'all know that about me. Dalton Kincaid goes 124. If Dalton Kincaid would have fallen, I would have definitely taken him at 128. I mean, I'm not even a big Kincaid guy, just given the fact that, I mean, historically speaking, these guys don't produce as rookies. But still, just that kind of value, I think, would have also allowed us to only have to draft 2 tight ends and would have opened up a lot more flexibility for us later on in this draft. Darnell Mooney goes 125, so we're not able to get Darnell. Like, to be honest with you, I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. Not really someone that I'm too excited about in general, even if he would have really fit this roster, of course, with Justin Fields at quarterback. Okay. So we have the year 2 tight end in Tennessee off the board. Okay, so I'm going to just give you my raw thoughts. Elijah Mitchell is my favorite player on the board. If you look at how many drafts I've taken Elijah Mitchell in comparison to Samaje Perine, Elijah Mitchell is running laps around Samaje Perine right now in my exposures. However, we had Javonte. Samaje had fallen about 13 picks past his ADP. Samaje Perine does go off the board now, so I think we are going to go ahead and take Elijah Mitchell. The teams behind us look like they probably need a running back. Like, this team behind us here is sitting with Bijan Robinson, and that's it. So I'd imagine we get a few running backs off the board at this point. And if we're looking at Elijah Mitchell, I think this is a running back that just makes so much sense in terms of us occasionally getting some random touchdowns while still having an elite ceiling in terms of if Christian McCaffrey were to go down, and taking Elijah Mitchell here at pick 128 will most likely lock us into not having to take any more running backs in this draft. So we had a question about our favorite draft position. Let me find this one. That was a good question. Yeah, Dominic says, what's been your favorite draft position so far? So in my mind, I really think that this season, above all else, if you can get the number 1, 2, 3, 4 overall pick on Underdog in particular, that's my favorite. Because you're able to go through, you're able to lock in an elite level wide receiver. You're able to get a running back that still has the upside to be the running back 1 overall in terms of the 2-3 turn. And then on top of this, you're in a position where you're able to go ahead and grab some strong wide receiver options at the 4-5 turn. So I think it's just so easy to win out the gate whenever you start at pick 1, start at pick 2, maybe even start at pick 3 and 4, and are able to start with either Jefferson, Chase, Tyreek, or Kupp. Okay, so we can't take running backs here. I mean, we're just done at running back. We have 5 of these guys. We have Taylor, Etienne, Rachaad White, Javonte, Elijah Mitchell. Okay. We can't take Derek Carr. We don't have anybody in New Orleans. Don't have any New Orleans options later on in the draft. Can't really take Jordan Love. Don't have anybody in Green Bay. Don't really have any other Green Bay options in the draft we're excited about. This is a wide receiver that I do not like. This is a wide receiver that I do not think is talented. But in terms of our team need, we are desperately needing wide receiver help. We've yet to take a rookie in this draft. We can't take running backs. These quarterbacks don't make sense for our team. I mean, Jonathan Mingo has an ADP that's 13 picks ahead of the next few guys like KJ Osborne, Romeo Doubs, Alec Pierce. I don't like those wide receivers either. And essentially anybody after that, we have a shot to get on the way back around. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take Jonathan Mingo there. Do not think it's because I like Jonathan Mingo. I don't. But, I mean, just from a roster construction standpoint, what we need with this team in particular, I feel like we have to go through and draft them there. I don't think we really have an option. Okay, now Derek Carr goes off the board 139. Jarrett McKinnon goes off 140. Good for us. I mean, of course, we're just really hoping that we have as many running backs off the board as possible by the time we're back up on the clock at 152. Zach says you only draft quarterbacks with correlation. So it depends. If I am drafting a quarterback like Derek Carr, yes, I want to make sure that I have one of his pass catchers on our team. And the reason being is with Derek Carr, if he were to go out there and drop a 30-point week in fantasy, right? How does he do that? Does he do that with 350 passing yards and 3 to 4 passing touchdowns? Or does he do that with 80 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns? The only way Derek Carr can drop a monstrous 30-point week is if he were to go out there and if he were to have an insane amount of passing volume. However, you'll notice that I drafted Justin Fields with this team without being able to go through and grab any other Chicago Bears options so far. So if I get a rushing quarterback such as Justin Fields, such as Lamar Jackson, falling past their ADP significantly, or maybe even Anthony Richardson, I'm completely fine taking one of those quarterbacks and not correlating with the rest of our lineup, just given the nature of how they score their points and what it would mean if they have a massive spike week. Okay. Now, Jonathan Mingo. And of course, if Derek Carr were to fall like 20 picks past his ADP, right? And then all of a sudden we're able to just have a unique combo in general that not too many other people will have access to, then I will be fine going through and taking a quarterback that doesn't correlate with the rest of our team. But I want to make sure that's in the instance where they are massive values and very few other people in the tournament are going to be able to get the player at that price. Okay. Now, Jordan Love, can he pick it off the board at 146, 147? I have an idea who we are wanting to make it to us at 152. There are a couple of guys that I'm fine with. Romeo Doubs goes off the board. This team has Allen, Geno, so they're definitely not taking a quarterback. Running back, they have CMC, Dalvin, McKinnon. Wide receiver, they have Metcalf, DJ Moore, Pittman, Gabe Davis, Zay Flowers, Odell, Darnell Mooney. So wonder if there's a chance they'd reach on like Tyler Higbee here. They go Raheem Mostert. So as someone y'all know, I mean, I don't like drafting in general. And on top of it, we literally can't take another running back. So, I mean, that's really good news for us. Gallup goes 150. I like Gallup in general. DJ Chark was the guy that we were wanting. We were wanting to go through, take DJ Chark, pair him up with Jonathan Mingo, and possibly on the way back around, grab Bryce Young. Sadly, we can't do that anymore. I'm actually going to go ahead and take Donovan Peoples-Jones here. We have Elijah Moore. Maybe we can make that one bet that the Cleveland Browns offense is better than people expect it to be, or maybe just Amari Cooper goes down. I mean, Amari Cooper goes down and then both Elijah Moore and Donovan Peoples-Jones crush. I mean, there are a couple different ways that those two wide receivers could get there. With Donovan Peoples-Jones, we can have access to some random massive spike weeks. And y'all know we just can't take a running back in this range. I mean, based on how much we invested, maybe, just maybe, if like we have an insane value falling to us that we like, we can take a sixth one. But that's like Devin Singletary falling to the 17th. That's like just ridiculous value. Okay. Jeep Guy says Trey Lance would have been so nice to have for this team. Yes. And in the majority of drafts, if I was not on the live stream drafting with y'all, I would be willing to bet money that we could have had Trey Lance on this team. But sadly, whenever I'm drafting with y'all, and I have Brandon Ayuk, I have Elijah Mitchell, I have George Kittle, people aren't going to let us get Trey Lance. Okay, so essentially, we're going to be looking at MVS or Tyler Higbee. I understand the thought process. Oh, get Bryce Young, pair up with Jonathan Mingo. Honestly, I think there are going to be a couple different quarterbacks we could be looking at here, and I'll be fine taking 3 quarterbacks with this team if we wait until like the 16th and 17th round to grab our next 2 guys. If we're going to look at, we're going to take Tyler Higbee. I mean, I definitely feel like a fish drafting Tyler Higbee in a ton of these, but this has been a tight end that I've been taking consistently. If we are looking at Tyler Higbee, I mean, this is an option that, yes, of course, just dominates targets in Los Angeles this past year. We've seen him have some stretches of monstrous games in the past. The primary issue is like, how easy is this to project? Like, we can probably assume that last year was just almost a fluke for the Los Angeles Rams with all the injuries that they had. With Tyler Higbee as an older option as well. I mean, there's a reason he's going this late in drafts. There are a lot of smart people avoiding him. I love this comment. Higbee is good for 10 catches and 42 yards a couple times a year. Yeah. I mean, the issue with Higbee, historically speaking, is the man just doesn't score touchdowns, right? I mean, hopefully that changes one of these years. But, I mean, you have been getting a lot of just random weeks for Tyler Higbee. Yeah, where he goes out there and he gets 11 targets in a single week. Now, he's not scoring touchdowns with those targets, so it hasn't led to a ton of fantasy points just yet. But who knows? It could always change. I don't know if it will, but it could. Okay. Now we have Matthew Stafford going off the board 166. Rondale Moore goes 167. So not good for us, of course. I mean, we want to see as many running backs off the board as we possibly can. And yeah, seeing a little run of like 5 guys, no running backs, not great. I'd imagine by the time we're back up on the clock, probably Chase Brown, Jeff Wilson are gone. And we can, if we really want, go through and take a third tight end. But the issue is I don't necessarily feel comfortable taking both 3 quarterbacks and 3 tight ends. So it's kind of like we have to pick our spot, right? Do we want to take 2 quarterbacks, 3 tight ends, or 3 quarterbacks and 2 tight ends? So it's going to be dependent on what happens with where the value falls to us in the next few rounds. Okay. And real quick, if you have not done so already, drop a like on this live stream. If we hit 350 likes on the stream, we will fire up another draft after this one. And don't scream at me if y'all hit 350 likes after the live stream's over that, oh, you didn't wait long enough. There are 450 people watching right now. If y'all really wanted another draft, all you have to do is hit that like button. And then also, if you want to get in that next draft with us, this is Underdog Fantasy. Find the link in the live chat. Find it in the description. Use promo code FLOCK, and they'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to $100 with promo code FLOCK. And if you're a member of flockfantasy.com, you're going to get some exclusive Flock merch going your way for free later this week. Be on the lookout for news regarding that. And also extra credit in your Underdog account, which I'm really excited to get y'all information on that one as well. But we're working really hard for all that. Now, Chase Brown goes off the board to pick 172. So slightly good for us. I mean, right now, quarterback, we have Justin Fields. Running back, we have Jonathan Taylor, Travis Etienne, Rashad White, Javonte Williams, Elijah Mitchell. Wide receiver, we have A.J. Brown, Brandon Ayuk, Elijah Moore, Jacoby Myers, Jonathan Mingo, Donovan Peoples-Jones. Tight end, we have George Kittle and Tyler Higbee. So it's just a weird team. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's bad. Just weird. Okay, so Reed was definitely who we were looking at. We'll take Hunter Renfrow here. We'll pair up Jacoby Myers and Hunter Renfrow. We could be looking at Jimmy Garoppolo possibly on the way back around. Also, we could be maybe making this consolidated bet. What happens if Devontae Adams gets injured and then both Jacoby Myers and Hunter Renfrow crush in terms of their target expectations coming into the season? So we'll take both guys. I mean, if you're looking at Marvin Mims, it's close. The issue is there's just so many freaking players in Denver, right? So many guys. Austin says, welcome to the weird team gang. Honestly, my man, I think I would probably rather have your team. Mark says, what's this? I'm hearing that Sam Darnold may be the starting quarterback for the 49ers this season. I don't want to say anything reckless, right? But let me know what you think I should do in terms of a punishment. Obviously, y'all know I'm a big Trey Lance guy. So if Trey Lance is fully healthy and going into the season, Trey Lance is playing behind Sam Darnold, what kind of punishment should I do on the live stream? Please let me know. Please let me know. I don't want to say we'll eat a shoe. I don't know if we want to go that extreme, but Adrian going right there saying we'll eat the shoe. Grady says buzz cut. It's not the worst thing. Honestly, maybe we can do a buzz. Does Sam Darnold have a buzz? How about this? Yeah, if Sam Darnold starts, and here we're going to go ahead, we're going to take Jimmy Garoppolo, correlate with both Jacoby Myers and Hunter Renfrow. If Sam Darnold starts over Trey Lance, I will buy possibly a signed Sam Darnold jersey. I'll have to look at how expensive Sam Darnold jerseys are. Let me look up how much an autographed Sam Darnold jersey is. I'd imagine it can't be too much, right? Okay, Sam Darnold's autographed jersey. Oh, this is laughable. They're less than regular jerseys. I don't know if Sports Collectibles is a legit site, but there's one for $60. There are a couple other ones for like $100. Yeah. If Sam Darnold starts over Trey Lance, I will buy an autographed Sam Darnold jersey and hang it up in the studio. I'll hang it up in the background. I mean, we still need to go through and set up our studio at the new place. I know. Can y'all let me know in the live chat real quick? Is this an acceptable background? I know we've been rolling with this for a little longer than I said we would, but how tired are y'all of seeing this like wood behind us? Let me know what y'all think of this in terms of watchability versus what we had with the last studio, where we had the side, we had the lights and everything about it. Jeep Guy says it's acceptable, but I'm not a fan. Dan Wheeler says, don't you have a flock sign? Yeah, we're definitely going to go through and set up a real studio. It's just, I've been so damn busy with work. Okay, yeah, so it looks like people want so. I mean, we're definitely going to have the sign and stuff up, guys. It's just more so, how important is it to me whenever we have so much stuff going with Flock Fantasy? Like, I I can't stress how much I am working right now. Y'all have no idea. I'm working more than I do during the season when we're putting out multiple videos a day and live streaming for like 5 hours a day. Like, and then we just moved into the house. The house has had a million things wrong with it. I mean, it's been a living hell. So once I can get on top of all that, I definitely need to set the studio up. I thought it was going to take us like a month to get on top of everything, but oh my gosh, we're not even close, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so Brock Purdy off the board, 197. Okay, let's swing this around. Okay, we are on the clock. We don't have any Falcons. I don't care. We're going to take Desmond Ridder. I think Desmond Ridder is a fine pick if you have both Drake London and Kyle Pitts in Atlanta. I think we can possibly get some random spike weeks. I like grabbing 3 quarterbacks if we wait this long in our second and third guys. So yeah, we'll go ahead and we will take Desmond Ridder. And then our last round pick, we're most likely going to be grabbing a wide receiver here. Okay, and it looks like we're hitting 350 likes in the live stream. So I'm just going to queue up a few wide receivers and then hop us into a next draft. Okay, yeah, and if you have not done so, hit that like button. If we get to 350, we will fire up another draft, but I already told y'all we were going to, so ignore me. What the hell am I saying? We will most likely, we'll just freaking take Paris Campbell or Cedric Tillman. Who cares? Okay, so let's go ahead and let's fire up this next one. We're going to psych y'all out. We're going to go ahead. We're going to do a best ball mania. Let's get into it. And it's filled. Oh, dear God. Oh, dear God. But real quick, we get the 103 as well. Now, what is painful about this is look at how many red badges we're going up against. We are going up against a ton of red. If y'all don't know, red badges, I think, is either 1,000 underdog drafts or 1,500. It's something ridiculous. So if you're going up against a red badge, I mean, you don't know if they're any good. I have a red badge. Of course, we're not any good. But you know that they at least have an idea of what's going on. So if you see them all through the draft, it is going to be a little scary. But, of course, if you have not done so already, if you want to get in a draft with us, you find a link to Underdog Fantasy down there in the comment section, down in the live chat, in the description. This is Best Ball Mania, so this is the tournament. That's the $25 buy-in, $15 million prize pool, $3 million for first. I got 16th place in this last year. I think we won $10,000 off that 16th place team. It would have been nice if we could have got first. I'll definitely say that. But got 16th place in this tournament last season. And yeah, real quick, I know that we always say, yeah, there are 45-ish states that have underdog. These are all the states where you can get into an underdog draft. Essentially anything that is not black. The gray states and the yellow states have Underdog Fantasy. You can hop into a draft with us today. And when you use promo code FLOCK, you're going to get that 100% deposit match and exclusive Flock Fantasy merch if you're a member of both flockfantasy.com and Underdog Fantasy with promo code FLOCK, plus extra credit in your Underdog account. We got a lot going for y'all. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to take Tyreek Hill here at pick 3. I mean, just in general, I'm not taking Christian McCaffrey at all. Like, CMC falls to us like pick 6, pick 7, maybe we'll consider it. But looking at how strong the running back values are in other drafts, it's just so difficult for me to go through and take a player like Christian McCaffrey over one of these elite level wide receivers when the wide receiver position is going to fall off to an insane degree. Like, let me go ahead and let me look up my exposures in terms of the round 1 wide receivers in comparison to the round 1 running backs. So, I mean, I do have some Eckler, Jonathan Taylor, because they obviously fall to round 2. I actually probably have a decent amount of Saquon Barkley now that Saquon Barkley has been falling more and more. But for round 1 wide receivers, Tyreek Hill, I have Tyreek in... Ooh, is this... Come on. Load for us. I have Tyreek Hill in 11% of drafts. I have Kupp in 13% of drafts. I have A.J. Brown in 10% of drafts. We have Diggs in 20% of drafts. And if we're going to look at the round 1 running backs, I have Bijan Robinson in 0 leagues, literally 0. I have Christian McCaffrey in literally 0 leagues. And y'all know we've been drafting a ton of these underdog teams. So, and y'all know I really want to root for our guy, Bijan Robinson. It's just so hard in my mind. I mean, here he falls a bit. Here he goes pick 8. Usually you've been seeing Bijan go off the board at like 5 and 6. Matty I says, enjoy the channel. Is there a way I contact you? Thank you so much, my man. I'll say, if it's like a business thing, shoot me an email. You can find the email in the description. If you're a member of flockfantasy.com and have like a fantasy question, shoot me a message on Discord. If you're not a member of the flock on flockfantasy.com, don't DM me like some Twitter question. I'm just not going to see it, my friend. I'm sorry about that though. Okay. So now we have Jalen Waddle, CeeDee Lamb off the board, 14-15. I'm going to be interested to see this Austin Eckler, Jonathan Taylor team here at the 1-2 turn. Like in my mind, I think, yeah, those are probably the best players in a vacuum. It's just so difficult to make it work, right? Like it's so difficult to find the wide receiver value that you like a little later on. Let's see what I Was Inverted decides to do. I think they're probably a better drafter than us. I mean, I've seen them everywhere. They go Olave. Very interesting. They take Chris Olave over Saquon Barkley. So yeah, you're seeing that this team is, I mean, this league is devaluing running backs. Like Saquon Barkley is yet to go off the board. That kind of tells us how we should be drafting these guys. Big punisher on the clock. Went Christian McCaffrey at pick 5. Goes Saquon Barkley. Starting off with Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley. That is obnoxious. Literally obnoxious. I think that's the start that we had with the league that we won 20,000 on Underdog last year. I think that was the Bulldog 2. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to take Devonta Smith strictly because he's the last wide receiver in this tier. And if we're going to look at all these running backs, I mean, we'll be able to get someone on the way back around. So don't know exactly who it is, but I mean, we definitely have 0 chance of getting Devonta Smith there at pick 27 based on how this draft is going. If we're looking at Chubb, Pollard, Henry, Jacobs, they're all about the same for me. So I'm just going to be fine taking whoever falls, and we'll see what happens. Steve says, sup, Mason, first draft together. Happy to have you out here, my man. Good luck. Okay, where are you drafting from? Big Punisher. My man, let me know what draft spot you're in. Okay, Tony Pollard goes 24. Nick Chubb goes 23. Okay, Steve at pick 5. Okay, I'm an idiot. We just looked right over that. Yeah, my man, that is a nasty start. I was really hoping that you were going to pass on Barkley and let us get that unique combo of Tyreek Hill and Saquon Barkley. But I mean, the amount of teams in Best Ball Mania that are going to be able to have Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley together, obviously, like just nobody's going to have that combo out the gate. So it is really exciting. Ramondre Stevenson goes off the board 26. Sit here and think. We will take Derrick Henry. Steve obviously probably was really hoping that DK Metcalf falls to him, and maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But this was our plan. We go Smith there at pick 22 because all these running backs are about the same for us, and we're just going to take whoever falls. So let's not overthink it. Let's not all of a sudden pivot to DK Metcalf just for the hell of it. Let's let Steve get him at pick 5. But, yeah. Now, Jacobs goes directly after us. So what I also like about picking at the very beginning of this, like in my mind, this is the best construction we can have out the gate on Underdog this year. If you're getting a top 4 to 5 pick and you're able to bring in one of Jefferson, Chase, Tyreek, Kupp, usually you can get Olave here at the late second round. I mean, I prefer T. Higgins over Devonta Smith, if I'll be honest, even if the ADP is the other way around. But nonetheless, if you can go with like 2 wide receivers out the gate with, say, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, or Cooper Kupp and Devonta Smith, and then be able to grab that running back as well, whether that's Nick Chubb, Tony Pollard, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Breece Hall, all these guys kind of have the similar profile, right? And then you're able to get wide receiver value at the 4 or 5 turn as well. Guys that don't necessarily have the same range of outcomes as a player like T. Higgins, but still options that are very exciting and could provide you with some spike weeks. So I just think the board falls your way whenever you're picking at the top end of the first round. Whereas if you're at the bottom end of the first round, it's way more difficult to get it done. Okay, Chris Strong says, love the flock. We have picks 3, 4, and 5. Let's go. Okay, so Chris is there picking next to us at 4. Steve says he was holding his breath for DK Metcalf. That's what I thought, my man. That's why I was like, okay, well, I wonder if we take Metcalf at 27, if Steve will go through and maybe reach on someone like Debo, and then maybe that can spark a little bit of a wide receiver run. But I mean, just going back to what we were thinking through in just terms of always being able to find wide receivers that we really like at the 4 or 5 turn, I really don't want to take Metcalf and then be like, oh, okay, well, we could have also just got Drake London and Jerry Jeudy, right, at pick 46 and 51. But yeah, Chris says you deserved DK, Steve. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely rather have Steve's team than ours, just because, I mean, his start is going to be so unique and like nobody's going to be able to match that. Now we have Najee Harris going off the board 37. So we were talking about wanting to monitor what Eric was going to do in this draft there with going Eckler, JT out the gate. He does decide to go with a wide receiver and running back at the 3-4 turn there. So interesting. I'd imagine that most people would have gone Debo and Amari, but y'all know I'm a big early 4th round Najee Harris fan this year. And Amari goes Mike Williamson. Real quick, if you have not done so already, make sure y'all are going down there, dropping a like on this live stream. Of course, thank you so much for everybody hanging out with us. If we hit 550 likes on this stream, we will go ahead and we'll fire up another draft. And if you want to get into our next draft with us, you can find that link to Underdog Fantasy in the live chat, in the description. Underdog's available in all these states, everything but black. Look at yellow, gray. You have Underdog drafts there. When you sign up with promo code FLOCK, you're going to get a 100% deposit match up to $100. And if you're a member of flockfantasy.com as well, you will get exclusive Underdog/Flock merch going your way later this week. But yeah, now we have a massive run on wide receivers here. We even have Christian Watson, the guy that we generally are targeting, off the board. Joe Burrow goes. So, I mean, y'all know we just literally made the video talking about how DJ Moore is a landmine wide receiver when he has an ADP that puts him ahead of Mike Williams, DeAndre Hopkins, Jerry Jeudy, Christian Watson. And in general, with where DJ Moore goes at pick 40, we should be avoiding him, right? I mean, we made that entire video for all the reasons saying avoid, avoid, avoid. At the end of the day, I'm going to draft over 700 of these teams. And the vast majority of them, I'm going to be able to take Christian Watson, Jerry Jeudy, DeAndre Hopkins here. But in this one, I guess people know better. They're going to pass on DJ Moore, so we'll be the guy who has to take DJ Moore here. Yeah. Stro says, how do you enter code FLOCK? Do you do it when you sign up or when depositing? I do not know, my friend. Definitely, I would say at sign up. I signed up for Underdog like 3 or 4 years ago, though, so it's so long ago that I don't know. If you go through the link in the live chat or the description, hopefully it should automatically be entered for you, my friend. Okay, so Hawkinson goes off the board. Fafa says, I'm a Pittman guy over DJ Moore, and I'm not going to blame you for that at all, my friend. Like, I'm completely fine if you wanted to go Michael Pittman over DJ Moore. It's more about us just trying to create that unique team based off the ADP with how it falls. So, I don't know. I don't know. Loco says, full schedule comes out at 5, right? Let me know what y'all think of this. I think it's the dumbest and like just weirdest thing ever that they're going through and they're giving us like one game at a time. Like, why that? What do they think this is? Like, we really need to hear, oh my gosh, did you see who's playing? I mean, week 8 on Thursday? Oh dear God, who cares? Drop the schedule. I mean, what are we trying to do here, NFL? I know we have to make everything a massive event, and y'all know nobody likes the NFL. Nobody likes fantasy football more than I do. Yeah, but like, let me know what y'all think in the live chat. Do y'all think it's actually cool that they're going through and saying like, oh, hey, by the way, guess when the Bills and Chiefs play? Hey, guess when the Chiefs and Bengals play? Versus just going, hey, here's the schedule. All right, go get your tickets. Grady says the suspense is killing me. See, maybe I'm wrong in this, but I literally don't care. Like I'm not going to sit there and fine comb the schedule. I know in underdog drafts, a lot of people think in massive large field tournaments, they should be going through and they should be correlating week 17, not only with their stacks, but also their bringbacks. And reality, I think if you're looking at super large field tournaments, people are probably overthinking it. Just like what we said last year, we won 2 high stakes tournaments last year. The only person to do it on Underdog and got 16th place in Best Ball Mania, and I did not care about Week 17 correlation in the slightest. So, I don't know. Trent says it's a marketing thing. John says they saw the draft become huge and try to repeat it with the schedule drops. I mean, that's what it feels like, right? Logo says trying to make it feel like the draft. Yeah. Trent says it's good for the league's money. Like, I'm completely fine with the NFL going out there and trying to optimize every dollar that they get. But in reality, do they make that much more money by doing this? Like, that's what I don't get. If you hear, like, instead of the Chiefs' entire schedule, you just hear the Chiefs are playing the Bengals on this date, are you more likely to go through and buy a Chiefs-Bengals ticket? You know? YP Creation says, I like it. There's some games in other countries and it hypes games up. Good marketing idea. I think I'll agree with that. I think in terms of getting other countries involved, like if we were looking at the European games, then maybe it makes sense to announce those beforehand, right? It's just, I don't necessarily agree. Like, hey, look at this random primetime game that we're going to get. Okay. Now we have Lockett off the board at 60. So far we have Derrick Henry, Tyreek Hill, Devonta Smith, DJ Moore, as well as Drake London. Aaron Jones goes 61. So I feel very comfortable with the team that we have currently. I mean, I think we have a lot of flexibility to do almost exactly what we want. It just depends on how the draft board falls. Checking in on Steve. He was able to take Christian Watson and then Jackson Smith and Jigba there at the end of the fourth, the beginning of the fifth. I mean, y'all know I love the Christian Watson late fourth round selection. Trent says a lot more people will tune into the shows. Yeah, that's what it is. You're right. I mean, it's being able to have NFL Network go through and give them something to talk about. I should think about that a little bit more, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Now, Deshaun Watson goes off the board 63. Very interesting to see Deshaun go here. I mean, you have Amari Cooper, but the big thing is, I mean, you can almost always guarantee yourself getting Deshaun Watson in round 7 if you have Amari. Sometimes Watson will even fall to round 8. So there are going to be a lot of other teams in the tournament that have Deshaun Watson and Amari Cooper, but you're probably just going to be outgunned since you took Deshaun Watson a little too early. Okay, there's one guy that I really want here. I don't know if we get him. George Pickens goes off the board 68. We're going to get one of two guys. I'd really love Kyle Pitts from a roster construction standpoint. Hell yes, we get him. And we are going to have Drake London as well. So we are getting some correlation in this Atlanta Falcons passing offense. Maybe this is probably going to be a 3-quarterback build based on the fact that we don't have a quarterback just yet. We can look to grab Desmond Ridder in round 16, round 17. Okay, so from here, Addison goes 71. Matt says, I just had my best underdog draft. Thank God I didn't get into the last one with you, even though I thought I wanted to be in it. My man, let me know what happened. Let me know what made it so good. Okay, so Addison off the board, pick 71 here. Okay, Gabe Davis goes. Very interesting. So you're getting some of these wide receivers going later in ADP. So it's going to thin out the options that you maybe have in round 8. Tony goes 93. Yes. Do you have a run on wide receivers? Quentin Johnson goes. So I was actually thinking to grab a running back here. But if you're looking at how this draft board's shaping up and looking at how thin the wide receiver position's about to get, we can go ahead. We can take Mike Evans. Nobody really is going to be getting Mike Evans pick 75. So we get a unique selection of Mike Evans there. And then also, I mean, Hollywood Brown off 76. So you're going to, in my mind, probably see this wide receiver pool dry up quickly. Like, just looking at the next options, like, I don't think you're going to get Michael Thomas, Cortland Sutton, Jamison Williams falling back to us at the 8-9 turn. So I'm going to be really happy to go through and take Mike Evans there. I don't know how many drafts I've taken Mike Evans in so far this offseason, but I feel like they're pick 75, which makes a lot of sense, right? YP Creation says, why Pitts over Darren Waller? A, because of ADP, and B, because Kyle Pitts was the best tight end prospect of all time, put up the best rookie tight end season since Mike Ditka, and on top of this, is younger than Zay Flowers. Kyle Pitts is still a phenomenal talent. Yes, we shouldn't have been drafting him in the 3rd round last year. I think everybody learned that lesson the hard way, but getting Kyle Pitts pick 70, in my mind, he's probably going to have a much, much better season this next year. I mean, obviously, we like these guys being a little bit older at the tight end position, and we're getting a significant discount compared to where he was a year ago. But yeah, just like what we were saying in terms of trying to predict what was going to happen with our Mike Evans selection. I mean, good thing we didn't go running back, because here you are seeing those wide receivers go. Like, you could definitely miss the boat at wide receiver, right? I mean, we have DeAndre Swift going afterwards, but that's the only running back. So if you're looking at pick 69 to 84, 70 to 85, right? The last 15 selections, you've had one running back go off the board, and that was DeAndre Swift. Yeah, Scorp coming out says, perfect Mike Evans pick. Thank you, my man. Thank you. Okay, so Cooks goes. Brandon Cooks is not someone that I've been drafting a lot. And, I mean, I think y'all heard this story a million times. I'm sure you're tired of hearing it. But, I mean, I started playing Dynasty Fantasy Football in 2014. That's like when I was like in 20 leagues year-round, and I was just obsessed with everything. So I fell in love with those 2014 wide receivers, and Brandon Cooks was in that historic class. So, I mean, I have a soft spot for Brandon Cooks. Like, he was actually like my first Twitter avatar when I first made like a fantasy football account and was just like following a bunch of people. I listened to their podcast. Like, that was back whenever, I think it was second season or something, back like 2015 or whatever the hell it was. It was definitely a New Orleans Saints profile pick. So I love Brandon Cooks. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how confident I am saying that Brandon Cooks still has it, you know? Margaret Ward says, how many drafts do you need to get a gray badge on Underdog? I could be wrong. Please do not hold my feet to the fire with this. I think it's 500. I think it's 500 to get the black and white. I think it's 1,000 to get the red and white. I don't know if it goes up every year or like something resets about it every year. I don't know the exact requirements. I've been told by people in the live chat before it's like 500 and 1,000. Adrian says, wasn't Devontae Adams and Terry McLaurin in the same class? Not even close, my friend. Not even remotely close. Devontae Adams was in 2014. Terry McLaurin was in 2019. Now, what's funny is Terry McLaurin stayed 5 years at Ohio State, so Terry McLaurin's actually pretty damn old in comparison to anybody else in that draft class. We're going to take Anthony Richardson here. I mean, with Anthony Richardson, obviously we don't have too many stacking options, but this is a quarterback you're betting on the rushing upside for, so I'm going to be fine to go through and grab him without any other options. But yeah, if I'm pulling up the age, even though Devontae Adams was drafted in 2014, Terry McLaurin was 2019. What's actually funny is Terry McLaurin currently is 27, going to turn 28 at the beginning of this next season. If we're going to look at Devontae Adams, this is a wide receiver that only stayed 3 years in college. Devontae Adams is 30. So you have Terry McLaurin about 3 years younger than Devontae Adams, despite coming into the league 5 years later. Stroh says, do you think Anthony Richardson will actually start week 1? I have no idea. I think anybody who says that they know is straight up lying to themselves. I think we're trying to optimize for weeks 15, 16, 17 here with a player that has an elite ceiling. I think we're getting him 10 picks past ADP. I think very few people are going to be able to have this combo. So I think it just makes sense to go through and take Anthony Richardson at 94. Okay, there are a couple guys that we could want. I mean, obviously, Tua would stack with Tyreek. We'd be getting him at a slight discount as well compared to ADP. David Montgomery, Javonte Williams are running backs that, I mean, we could definitely look to add on. We need a running back. So, I mean, I think we have a lot of options. Alexander Madison goes, I mean, y'all know Madison, I think my most drafted running back this offseason on Underdog. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Tua. I mean, it does give us the ability, right, where if we really wanted to, we could only draft. I mean, we only have to draft 2 quarterbacks. Now, if we are going to grab a third, I'm most likely going to wait as long as I can to get that third option. But I mean, Tua does stack with Tyreek. It is strong value with Tua as well. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Steve says, that's the latest I've seen Anthony Richardson in a while. Yeah, I mean, I've seen the majority of times Anthony Richardson going in round 7, which I honestly think is ludicrous. Like, I don't see why we're drafting Anthony Richardson there. I'd much rather grab like Trey Lance, 60 picks later. But I mean, if we're going to get Anthony Richardson at like the 8-9 turn, here's where I think it does make sense. Noah says, does it give you an advantage to stack players? Yes. No matter what the fantasy football format is, you have an advantage in stacking players from the same offense, especially in best ball. Now, if we're just going to go from a macro standpoint, this is how I always explain it. I feel like we have to do this every single live stream. We've done this for years and years and years. So even way back before best ball was a big thing, and we would try to explain how stacking benefited your fantasy football team, right? The easiest way to explain this is there are 12 teams in this league. One of these teams will win it. 11 will lose. So every time we step into a fantasy football draft, what we should be optimizing for is trying to have the best team possible, the highest ceiling possible. If 50% of your teams you are first place in and 50% you are last place in, you are the best fantasy football drafter of all time. So how do we get those extreme ends of the spectrum? How do we make sure we have as many first place and second place finishes as possible? We make bets that correlate together. So if I were to go through and take Tyreek Hill in the first round here, if Tyreek Hill ends up being a strong selection in the first round and helps us win this league, what happens? Well, what has to happen is the Miami Dolphins have to be a top 5 passing offense overall. Not only do the Miami Dolphins have to be a top 5 passing offense overall, but Tua probably needs to stay healthy. Tua needs to have a great season. So if this team's going to be any good, Tyreek Hill has to be very good. And if Tyreek Hill is going to be very good, so does Tua. There are obviously minute details. I mean, there is some fine combing we can go through and talk a little bit more in depth with that. But big picture is we're going to make correlating bets where if one thing happens, both players on our team benefit. I want one outcome to happen, like the Miami Dolphins passing offense to be better than people expect, and we benefit on multiple spots of our roster. Okay. So let's pull this up. So if we're looking at Aaron Rodgers here, we don't have any Jets. I mean, with Rodgers as well. Yeah, you would fall 12 picks past ADP, so maybe it'd be a little bit of a unique selection. But in reality, I mean, I've seen Aaron Rodgers fall this far in a lot of drafts. Let's see what happens. Hell yes, we get A.J. Dillon. I never would have thought in a million years we were getting Dillon here. Super exciting, super exciting. I mean, with A.J. Dillon, you could randomly see a week where he's usable in your starting lineup if he scores a touchdown. If Aaron Jones were to go down due to injury, then all of a sudden A.J. Dillon's a league-winning player here. Super excited about this selection. We really needed someone with this profile. Sky Moore goes 119. So if Aaron Rodgers were to fall to us at this point, it would be about 17 picks past ADP. I'm assuming Long Live Strong maybe took Lazard with the plans on getting Aaron Rodgers on the way back around. My question with that is, if that's what you wanted to do, why wouldn't you take Rodgers, who had an ADP of 106, versus Lazard at an ADP of 113? Wouldn't it be more likely for you to get that combo if you decided to go in the opposite direction? But who knows? It looks like he's probably going to get Aaron Rodgers making it back to him. So honestly, probably did the right thing. Okay, so Lou on the clock it goes Jacoby Myers. Okay, so we have a run on wide receivers. Obviously, when we're sitting with Tyreek, Devonta Smith, DJ Moore, Drake London, Mike Evans, I'm kind of chilling at wide receiver. I'm fine seeing these guys go. So I'm going to be super happy to take Damian Harris as well, a running back very similar to A.J. Dillon that I think, I mean, if something were to occur in his backfield, he'd probably have a high ceiling. But even as it stands today, we're probably going to get some random touchdowns. So, oh my gosh, this team is good. This is a team that I am very excited about, way more excited than we were, I mean, with the first stream here of the day. And I think the reason is So we don't have too many of you sickos in this draft with us. So I think that is the main reason this team's so good. Yeah, so if you're looking at running back, we have Derrick Henry, A.J. Dillon, Damian Harris. But that's the weakest position on this team. Wide receiver, we have Tyreek, Devonta Smith, DJ Moore, Drake London, Mike Evans. Tight end, we have Kyle Pitts. Quarterback, we have both Anthony Richardson and Tua. So we are in a good spot. Okay. Nick coming out with a massive donation. Thank you so much, my man. Yeah, if y'all don't know, Nick is who I'm always bragging about, a member of the flock who won the puppy tournament last year. Says we got Jefferson 103, Saquon 21, Olave 27, hoping to win another puppy with that one. Oh my gosh, my man. Here we had Mike going through and taking CMC and Saquon Barkley on the same team, and I thought that was a phenomenal start. Obviously, I mean, getting Saquon Barkley paired up with Jefferson and Olave is literally just nasty. I really hope the rest of that draft went well, my man. But Matt coming out as well with the donation, thank you, says, had the 12th pick, went JT CeeDee Lamb, then Ridley Amari at the 3-4 turn, Pierce, JSN 5 and 6. I got real lucky to have JSN fall that far. Waller and Deshaun 7 and 8. I got lucky to have Waller fall that far as well. Elijah Moore, Geno, then Kondre Miller, Roschon Johnson. I really like this in terms of if you're looking at pick 12, which in my mind really sucks. Like I think the majority of drafts, pick 12 is really hard to work with. I think this is almost like best case scenario that you could have with it. That's awesome, my man. That is awesome. Blake says, just saw Micah Parsons tweeted at you. Flock going up. Yes. If y'all don't know, Micah Parsons tweeted at us yesterday, which I didn't know either. And then Chris from Fantasy Endgame shot a message of the screenshot. And I was like, oh my gosh, I knew the tweet went viral. But what's so funny about it too is it's like it's a bunch of people calling me an idiot for saying something that is extremely reasonable, like an extremely reasonable take, right? Like if you're looking at my take, here's what we said. This is what got Micah Parsons to respond to us. And this tweet has 2.2 million views. Should I just show? I'll show it on the screen. I'll pull it up on the screen. Sorry. I was just going to read it from my phone, but. Okay, Gallup goes 139. I honestly need to go through and DM Micah Parsons. I'm going to try DMing a bunch of players and seeing if I can convince anybody to go on the channel with us. I think now that we have the pictures of us at the red carpet, we have a shot to try to finagle our way to getting someone on. We're going to go Roschon Johnson here. I mean, hell, we need another running back. Roschon, who the hell knows who's going to be the actual starter in Chicago. So yeah, let's pull this up. Oh, I just took us to this one. All right. Here's Micah Parsons responding to us. I know he doesn't have the check mark, but this is him. Promise you. 1.4 million views. And our tweet was, and I feel like this is extremely reasonable, right? Extremely reasonable. Please don't think DJ Moore going to Justin Fields is the same thing as A.J. Brown going to Jalen Hurts and Stephon Diggs going to Josh Allen. Like, I don't think DJ Moore turns Justin Fields into Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen. But in my mind, extremely reasonable. But people on the internet and Micah Parsons maybe did not. But let me know what y'all think. Because obviously people on Twitter thought I was an idiot. Leave the Race says Eckler 100% watches you. Do you have any proof behind this, my friend? I'm assuming you don't have any proof, but if you do, please let me know. Please let me know. Okay, so I know everybody always says, okay, Mason, you always talk about going through and drafting players on the same team, blah, blah, blah. You're an idiot. You shouldn't be doing it. Hell, if Kyler Murray falls this far, if he falls to us at pick 147, even if he's not going to start at the beginning of the year, if he has the elite level ceiling in weeks 15, 16, 17, I'm completely fine going through and taking Kyler Murray here. Leave the Race says he's my dad. Yeah, I'm sure, my friend. I'm sure. Okay, let's move this down. Yeah, so we have not taken a wide receiver in quite some time, but that's the flexibility that we get in terms of just going through and hammering in 5 wide receivers through the first 7 rounds. Flamingo says, seen Jack Harlow watching before. Oh, that'd be awesome. There is the no interruption guy does watch us. That is exciting. Nick says, draft went well and was super unique. I mean, yeah, with the start of those three guys. Ended up Hawkinson, 7 picks past ADP, and Goddard, 10 picks. That is awesome. Nick says, Eckler's by far the most involved in fantasy football out of all the NFL players. Yeah, I mean, I saw that like he's on Yahoo Fantasy a lot, right? Does he have like a weekly show on Yahoo Fantasy? If anybody watches like the Austin Eckler show, I've definitely seen clips. Let me know like what the deal is with what Austin Eckler does. Okay. We have Higbee, Dawson Knox off the board, 154, 155. What is not great about this team, if I'm going to be honest with you, I mean, I love this team for a multitude of different reasons. But if I was going to nitpick this team and say what was bad about it is I do kind of want to draft 3 tight ends, but we drafted 3 quarterbacks. And in the vast majority of leagues, if you're taking 3 quarterbacks and 3 tight ends in a large field best ball tournament like this, you really can't get away with it. Like, usually I want my quarterbacks and tight ends to add up to 5 total guys. For them to add up to 6, you really want to wait until like the very end of the draft to make it work. And I mean, we did take Kyle Pitts at pick 70. We took Anthony Richardson, 94, Tua, 99. So I don't know. John says he's been on Yahoo Fantasy, does FF Today a lot. FF Today, is that CBS? Of course, I know very little about this, guys. Let me try to pull this up. Okay, FF Today. I think this is CBS. John says, yeah, I believe so, because I don't think they really get any views on YouTube, but I'm assuming they probably get a lot of views on like TV, or maybe they do radio or something, right? Of course, I could be wrong. Okay, so we can't take a quarterback. We already have 3. We're exclusively running back, wide receiver, tight end from here on out. I'm probably going to go ahead and actually going to take Devin Singletary. I think Singletary's maybe a little similar to these guys like A.J. Dillon, Damian Harris, Roschon Johnson, where he's definitely looking like a backup running back, of course, but you maybe could get a few occasional weeks where he scores a touchdown and he's actually usable in fantasy. But Overcome says Eckler said he's in 6 leagues. Okay, so Eckler is big into fantasy football. Which, I mean, I wonder, the thing I've been thinking about in terms of DMing these guys is, like, how careful do they need to be now with, like, sports betting stuff? Leave the Race says, I can get you a practice squad defensive back on the Miami Dolphins to be on here. I would love that. I would love to talk to someone like that. Jeff Wilson, 169, Bryce Young, 170. I don't really know what we should be doing with this selection, if I'm going to be honest with you. If we type, I don't like Michael Mayer here. I don't like Sam Laporta. I don't know if we need to be drafting 6 running backs with this team. Are the wide receivers good enough to go 3-6-6-3? Probably not. I'm probably going to make a mistake. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take Ezekiel Elliott as a 6th back here. Yeah, I think this team was maybe extremely good at the very beginning, but I think that we've honestly probably ruined it, right? I mean, just from a roster construction standpoint, I feel like it is extremely difficult to be excited about where we currently stand. I mean, top to bottom, yeah, ended up being a very strong draft in terms of Tyreek, Smith, Henry, DJ Moore, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Mike Evans, Richardson, Tua. Like, I love all these picks individually. I think maybe where it went wrong is the Kyler Murray selection. Like, if we're looking at Kyler Murray there, from a constructional standpoint, it just makes things so weird for us where and maybe we shouldn't have taken Ezekiel Elliott. Maybe instead we should have gone with a wide receiver. I don't know, right? Because now we're definitely done quarterback. We're definitely done running back. I don't know if at this point we want to be going through and grabbing 2 tight ends and 1 wide receiver, or 1 wide receiver and 2 tight ends. Yeah, I just don't know. And if we were to take a third quarterback, if we were getting Trey Lance falling to us this far, that's what we should have done instead. There's no such thing as too much Trey Lance. Now, wide receivers, tight ends that we can be looking at from here. Yeah, the thing is we need 2 more wide receivers. I don't think we can get it done with 6 by having Tyreek, Devonta Smith, DJ Moore, Drake London, Mike Evans, and then a 6 rando, right? Steve says, as long as Richardson starts, you're fine. I'm more so worried about just not having enough wide receivers or not having enough tight ends. Like, I think a quarterback and running back, we're going to be great. I think wide receiver at the very top, we're great. Dominic says, did you make a video breaking down your tournament winning teams from last year? I'm going to do that closer to the season whenever we are... whenever we have more just casual people watching. I'm going to make a video saying how I won $100,000 in fantasy football drafts last year. And then I'll go through and look at I'll react to the live stream of us drafting the $100,000 winning big dog team. And then I'll also make a video how I won $20,000 in fantasy football last year. And then I'll go through and break down the team where we won the Bulldog 2 winning the $20,000. Then I'll make a video how I won $10,000 in fantasy football last year. And then we'll go through and we'll make the video breaking down how we won. Got 16th place in Best Ball Mania. So yeah, we'll definitely go in depth with all those teams, but I'm going to do it closer to the start of the season just because, a lot of casual people are going to watch that video. Like, full transparency. That's like a strong casual viewer video. Tyquan Thornton's been the main guy I'm drafting here. We'll take him. Really don't know. And of course, if y'all want to see another draft, make sure you hit that like button. If we hit 550 likes on this live stream, we will go through and we'll fire up another draft after this one. This is our second. Colby coming out with a donation. Thank you. Says Olave for 2 future first, Olave and a second for Gibbs and a 2024 first are either a good deal, not contending until 2025. If you're not contending until 2025 and it's a super flex league, I'd be really happy to go through and sell Olave and a second for Jahmyr Gibbs and a first. Dominic says, thanks for the consistency. Great content, Mason. No, thank you so much, my man, for being a member of the flock and supporting the channel. Okay, so here we are going to go through and most likely take Hayden Hurst. Nick says casuals will eat that up. Yeah, that's why we're waiting until we get closer to the season. I think we go Hayden Hurst. So I really like what this team is. I'm just having an extremely difficult time figuring out if we're going to go with another wide receiver or a tight end here. So everybody, we are drafting from pick 3. At wide receiver, we have Tyreek Hill, Devonta Smith, DJ Moore, Drake London, Tyquan Thornton. Running back, we have Derrick Henry, A.J. Dillon, Damian Harris, Roshan Johnson, Devin Singletary, Ezekiel Elliott. Quarterback, we have Anthony Richardson, Tua, and Kyler Murray. Tight end, we have Kyle Pitts and Hayden Hurst. What are y'all thinking? Should we go through? Should we take a tight end or should we take a wide receiver? Please, we have 400 people out here in this live stream right now. Spam the chat. Let's get 400 messages. Just say wide receiver or tight end. Let me know what you think we should have here. I'm going to throw it to you because I personally don't know. And then also, like I said, if y'all want to see another draft after this one, make sure you hit that like button. If we hit 550, we will fire up another draft after this. Okay. But let's see. Wide receiver, tight end, wide receiver, tight end, wide receiver, tight end, light at receiver, tight end. Okay. Nick won the puppy draft on Underdog last year for $75,000. So I'm going to listen to Nick here. We'll see. How about this? We'll see. Let's see what options we'll have falling to us. Oh my gosh. Matthew Stafford available here in the 18th round. Our Kyler Murray selection was straight up garbage. Our Kyler Murray selection was bad for a multitude of different reasons. I mean, we literally could have gone through and just taken a Desmond Ridder here in the 17th, 18th round as well. Yeah. That was the big time mistake that we made. We should not have taken Kyler Murray, and instead we should have gone through and we should have taken, if we really wanted a third quarterback, Stafford or Desmond Ridder here at the very end. Okay, so if we were looking at wide receivers, someone I've been drafting a lot has been Robert Woods. We've been taking Paris Campbell a decent amount as well, but it looks like Paris Campbell's not going to be in this one. Tight ends, I think both McBride and Zach Ertz would be in play, considering the fact that we have Kyler Murray. I know a lot of people like Tank Dell at wide receiver. We'll see. I'm not a big Tank Dell guy. He's just so damn small. James says Ertz is the play. I know a lot of people in the live chat like Zach Ertz. Like, whenever we're in the live stream, I'll see a lot of people taking Zach Ertz. If I'm drafting a team outside the live stream, I never really see anybody go in that direction. Okay, Deuce Vaughn to 11. Kyle Pitts, you listen here and you listen good. I tweeted out something really nice about you today. I trusted you by taking here pick 70. I'm going to need you to hold the tight end position down for us. I'm going to need you to turn into what we thought you were going to be. And I'm going to need a top 5 tight end season this next year with consistency, no games missed. Be out there, ball for us. We're going to take another depth wide receiver. I don't know if it was the right decision. The chat was really split. Nick wanted us to go wide receiver. Nick won the puppy last year, so we may need to listen to Nick. So we will go ahead and we'll take a wide receiver. But looks like we did not hit 550 with the likes, so it'll probably be our last stream of the day. But don't you worry. We are live streaming Underdog Drafts every single day until the start of the season. So make sure you go down there, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Join Underdog Fantasy. Start drafting with us on Underdog. If you use promo code FLOCK, you're going to get a 100% deposit match up to $100. And here are all the states it is available in. Everything that's yellow, everything that's gray, Underdog Fantasy is available. If it is black, such as Louisiana, Michigan, Nevada, Washington, Idaho, Wyoming, Hawaii, I'm sorry. That's all I have to say. Available everywhere in Canada as well, outside of Ontario. But thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Really, really do appreciate y'all. Really hope you have a great day. And yeah, really hope we get to see you out with the live stream tomorrow.